Hey guys, this is your favorite neighborhood gambler, Moss Money. Thanks for clicking on my video. If you're into gambling, if you're into winning money at gambling, hell, if you love talking Eagles, this is the channel and the videos for you. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and enjoy the shows. Saturday's game, Chargers, Texans. Chargers are favorite -3, and total points is 42 and a half. Get this a lot. Really kind of surprising, right? CJ Stroud is having that sophomore slump. Texas don't look too good coming into the playoffs, while the Chargers look like they're gaining their footing and even showing some promise from a passing standpoint, switching up to what they look like pretty much all year round, from just kind of running the ball and playing amazing defense. Their defense is best in the red zone and scoring defense in the league, only giving up 17 and a half points. So, again, another little bit of a slugfest. Who makes mistakes more? But looking at the Chargers, it doesn't seem like that's likely because if I'm not mistaken, if I believe, I forget what the stat was, but I think Herbert is having an unreal year in terms of not turning the ball over, whether it be fumbles or interceptions. I don't want to just throw numbers out there without being completely accurate from what I read. So, but do know they are taking care of the ball, and they're one of the best teams with their plus turnover ratio. With that being said, what I do like in this game is I do kind of lean Chargers here. I just don't think the Texans have it this year. Too many injuries.
Mhm.
Um, just not the same magic they had that first year that they captured everybody with. I can see people backing the home dog here. That makes a lot of sense to me. In the playoffs, everything changes. You got to throw the regular seasons out and go. You're everybody's 0-0. So sudden death, players do tend to show up, and I say that because I'm going with the player that I think has been hot the last 3 years, 3 games, and that's Justin Herbert. Give me Justin Herbert over 253 yards rushing and passing. He's hit this in the last 3 games. The Chargers are kind of picking up offensively.
Mhm.
Their last couple games better. They got J.K. Dobbins back, even though he's been obviously injury prone throughout his career, but he is a difference factor in their run game, somewhat of a bell cow to help them. Lad McConkey went over 1,100 yards this year. In his last 3 games, 2 touchdowns, almost 100 yards in each game, 95, 94, 90, and 87. Even though the competition was low with I'm not the Vikings, the Raiders, the Patriots, um, and they beat the Broncos. But in all 3 games, they've scored 34, 40, and 34. So, like I said, I think they're hitting their stride all in the right time. Herbert had 346 yards against the Raiders, 281, 284, like I said. And he had 7 touchdowns to 1 pick, only been sacked 3 times, no fumbles, rushing for 42, 12, 28. Just with his passing yards alone, he hits this number. He's using his legs a lot more. I think the Chargers pull out all stops to win this game. And if that means Justin Herbert has to run for 50 or 60 yards in this game, he will. So give me the over here, passing and rushing for Justin Herbert with 253 yards. I know Stingley, I think the All Pro just came out, and Stingley was an All Pro. So defensively, uh, you know, they're still solid Texans, and even with you got to give credit to D'Amico Ryan's as well as keeping that group together. But they're just not the same team that they were when they made that kind of magical run. So with that being said, give me Justin Herbert over 253 yards.
Yeah. Um, Texans is limping into this game. Unfortunately, a lot of promise early this season. The injury bug hit them. They also had a tough schedule to close out the year. You had to go, you had a game against the Dolphins, which they did win. But the last 3 weeks was the Chiefs and the Ravens. Obviously, both of those lost. Then they played the Titans last week in a game that they sat their starters. Um, it- it- the Chargers is playing really good football. They're playing really good team football. Defensively, they're really stout.
Yeah.
Um, I would look here because offensively, Houston's just not putting the ball in the end zone. I think they got away from the rush a little bit and leaning on Joe Mixon. I think they're going to have to do that this week. Not put so much pressure on C.J. Fields, obviously without his full weaponry. Nico Collins should probably get a lot of targets, so you might want to look at his team, his receptions over. That's the only person they really can throw to. But I'll look at Houston's team total and go under team total, 19.5 points. I don't think they score over 20. I think they stay in the teens. I think this game is really close. And that would be my play only in this game. Obviously, I have a teaser with the Chargers later on. I'll get a ticket out.
All right.
To the show.
Yeah, I like it.